Bom dia, senhores. Pô, esse pá que tá um barulhão de vento, hein? Pera aí, deixa eu conferir. Vou dar um confere. Cara, não faço a menor ideia se o que eu ouvi na minha própria live foi vento ou não. Talvez tenha. Talvez não tenha. Não tô sabendo. O Eduardo apareceu. Bom dia, Eduardo. O mais brabo. O cara que respondeu ao meu post de ontem. Vou falar que eu sabia que eu ia voltar em breve, mas eu não sabia que era tão em breve. Cara, meu Star não tá carregando. Não tem tanta coisa aberta assim. Deixa eu... Dá um jeito aqui nesse Opera, pera aí. Opera, tu não tá me ajudando. A gente tá preso. Pera aí. Bem, pronto. Tudo limitado agora, não tem mais caô. O brabo, tá, acho que já tá... embora. Não tá não, porque o meu Star Rail não corrobora com a live, né? Obrigado, Star Rail. Vamos mostrar ele travado mesmo? Vamos mostrar ele travado. Vamos expor essa empresa chamada Royalverse que tá nessa, não quer carregar com as minhas coisas. Na verdade eu nem sei se meu Star Rail tava 100% atualizado, porque eu só ando jogando no celular. Esse daqui é o brabo que vem mantendo meu Star Rail funcional. E aí, Eduardo? Cara, eu tava ansioso pela sua presença, mano. Papo reto. Depois que tu respondeu, eu falei, pô, esse cara aí tem que vir. Esse é o cara. Bem-vindo à live, bem-vindo a lives. Cara, eu não sei se tá barulho de vento. Eu espero que não. O vento chega aqui? Pô, chega mais ou menos. E se eu virar ele, ó, fazer isso no meio da live é que é coisa de quem sabe. Não aceita ouvir o contrário. Se eu virar ele pra cá agora, e aí pronto. O negócio tá pegando aqui mais ou menos nas minhas costas, mais ou menos, porque a cadeira tá na frente. Ah, moleque, ó, essa é a conexão, hein, Eduardo? Essa é a conexão, bravíssima. Vamos mandar agora. Eu botei na live todos os eventos, mas é óbvio que eu não vou fazer todos os eventos. Eu vou começar pelo menos com a missão da Black Swan. missão de companionship dela. E aí eu vejo o que vai dar, o que eu vou fazer. Nossa, mas hoje a gente não tá querendo carregar mesmo. 5 minutos de live, ó. 5 minutos de live. É porque hoje é dia 8 de março, se pá que os jogos só estão funcionando para as mulheres. Eu tentei entrar no Fortnite e ele tava tipo com os servidores offline. Provavelmente todas as contas femininas estão jogando nesse momento. Tá rolando um motim pelo Dia Internacional da Mulher. Vamos lá, né? Vamos lá. Tô sem som no celular, né? Nada vai atrapalhar. Pronto, agora eu tô. Beleza. O PC tá mal acostumado, realmente. Eu acho que ele tá fazendo greve, porque eu não uso mais ele durante a semana. Agora é só trabalhar e estudar. E aí ele não tá querendo. Opa! Nome de tela. Mudamos de tela. Certeza que é isso. É uma greve. Greve geral dos PCs. Sabe uma coisa engraçada? Aqui embaixo de mim tem o meu canal na Twitch também. E eu não faço live na Twitch tem muito tempo. Que, pô, quando eu vou gravar um Star Rail, uma parada assim, eu venho no YouTube. Que o YouTube faz um algoritmo cadinho melhor. Não usa isso Twitch. Mas o YouTube faz. Pelo menos as pessoas do YouTube são de verdade. As pessoas que aparecem aqui são realmente pessoas que vêm e falam. Nossa, mas hoje nosso Star Rail tá pegando fogo. O PC tá... Ele não tá tão estranho assim. Isso que não tá rodando nada aqui de fundo. Tá tipo a live e o PC. E o Star Rail, né? O PC sempre tá. Ó. Coisinha carregando é só coisa boa.
Discard your worthless destiny.
Ok, carregou. Eu estava falando aqui com meu grandíssimo amigo Cavalo Pocoto e... Putz, aí tu me pegou. Não sei se você é um fruto da minha imaginação. Talvez a fama tenha subido a cabeça quando eu peguei mais de 300 inscritos. E aí, cara... Aí eu, tá ligado? Fui largado aí nesse mundo. Criei meus próprios inscritos, tá ligado? Ai, meu Deus. Pô, não dá nem pra comemorar. A gente comemora até ela volta pro preto. Eu não sei se isso sou eu. Tipo, sou eu, assim, minha conta. Ou se isso tá acontecendo no mundo. Mas eu tenho a impressão de que o Star Rail tá menos otimizado. O que é estranho, porque esse jogo geralmente é muito bom. Ele tem um suporte muito bom. Muito obrigado, Royoverse. Faz um código de criador aí pra mim, por favor. Nem tem código de criador. Vambora, galera. Eu quero trabalhar. Não vou fechar o programa. Não vou, gente. Não vou. Quero trabalhar logo. 300 contas fakes, papo reto. Ah, moleque. Agora sim, vamos voltar aqui ao nosso time comum. Pra quem não se lembra, eu peguei a Black Swan. Aí, hoje tá uma maravilha. Olha que beleza. Eu só apertei um botão e a gente já desmoronou. Beleza. Engraçado que a gente não vê direito o primeiro aqui, dá pra entender que é a Black Swan, mas não fica, rapaziada, na foto. Cara, fazer essa missão vai ser uma maravilha, hein? Pô, deixa eu raciocinar aqui. Não é possível. O Opera não é pesado desse jeito. Vou fechar o Opera. Fechei o Opera. Vou minimizar o Discord. Todo mundo fechado. Aí, ó, até reiniciou. Nossa, mas que bosta, viu? Eu vou fazer a missão da Black Swan logo. Eu não quero nem trocar de time. Não quero mais, vamos. O jeito é voltar pro Roblox, só pro reto. Acho que o Beery Night ficou pistola, que eu não vou fazer live de Beery Night. E tá derrubando meus jogos. Mas eu não vou fazer porque o seu server está offline, Epic Games. Melhore seus servers, porque toda vez que a gente muda eu não entendo isso. Muda a season e eles desligam o servidor. Parece que eles não conhecem o jogo há 6 anos. Não, 6. 5 anos. Aí brinquei, 7. Fiz a conta bem errada. De 17 para 24 vira 5. Vamos. Rápido. Quanto mais rápido for, melhor. Já tem 10 minutos de live. Meu amigo. E meu Deus. Tá. Não entendi nada. Sim, é para atualizar. É porque realmente na última. É porque a última atualização, que foi a do Big Bang, que teve o coisa do Eminem, o server deles não tancou. E a Epic foi garoteou demais. Demais. Parece que os caras não conhecem o próprio público. Tava batendo, mano, recorde de player todos os dias. E aí os caras, vamos atualizar com os servers que a gente já tem, né? O que pode dar errado? Tudo. Tudo deu errado. Tudo. Enfim. Aparentemente alguém fez uma doação de uma Dream Bubble, que é aquele negócio... Nossa, eu não vou nem explicar o que é a Dream Bubble, porque foi o segundo episódio da missão aqui e esse episódio foi ruim. Esse episódio foi ruim, vamos ver. Sound Suspicious. Ok. Já até avisou quem é. Vamos lá. Vamos lá. É legal que eu vou conseguir as coisas de Nihility aqui. E até de Harmony também, né, Sparkle. Só que, tipo, e é bom porque eu já tô juntando pra Acheron. Então vambora. Papo reto, foi isso mesmo que aconteceu. Eles vinham numa decrescência, depois puxaram uma crescente e aí foi direto, foi pra lua. Eu gastei uma quantidade de dinheiro quando saiu a skin do Eminem, viu? Espero que essa skin nunca mais volte na loja pra justificar meu investimento, porque, putz, ainda bem que tava na época de Natal, filho. Época de 13º salário, época assim, tá ligado? Que as pessoas gastam dinheiro, porque, putz, My Father Eternal. Eu gostei dessa expressão, vou passar a usar mais. Cara, as músicas de Penacone são muito boazinhas, mas, tipo, essa que tá tocando agora, que eu sabia o nome, mas eu esqueci, é engraçada. Eu acho que é Hi Jolly ou Jolly, alguma coisa assim. Jolly ou Holly, algo do tipo. Essa eu acho engraçada, porque não tem nada a ver com a realidade que é a Penacone, até de propósito isso. Opa! Mano, tem alguma coisa estranha aqui. É engraçado que eu vou fazer a missão da Black Swan de Black Swan, né? Na real, eu quero trocar logo esse time. Vamos tá carregando. Vou carregar, rapaziada. Carregou! Que lindo! Vambora. Chega! Gostei da música. Mudou agora. Ah, maneiro. Nem tem voz, né? O que eu tava esperando? Missãozinha roxa é pra morrer. Long time no see, big old eye. Diamond in the Rough, ok. Hoje a live vai ser legal. Ok. Pô, gostei muito dessa música. Eu não ouvi ela no EPzinho que eles soltaram. Veteran gamers can call this a true dream. Ok. Ok, vamos lá. Ué. Não spoile o final, ok. Ah, mano, eu odeio. Ah, meu pai odeia essas trash can, velho. Qual é? E se eu vir qual Black Swan é melhor? E se a minha for melhor do que a que o jogo tá recomendando? Em ataque estamos próximos. Se bem que essa é 80, né? A minha... Ah, não, a minha é 80 também, peraí. What the hell? Ah tá, eu achei que era o mesmo do meu. Nossa, tomei um susto. Pô, mas aí vocês quebram, né, tropa? Tudo 10, o meu tem algumas querendo ir ainda. Se não a quebrar, mas eu vou com a minha mesmo porque eu quero ostentar, né? Quem pode, pode. Eu vou fazer o time de sempre. Engraçado que tem alguns personagens que tem fala quando você bota eles no time com outra pessoa. Os meus não tem. Ai, meu pai. Tô com o alarme. O que temos aqui? Nossa, eu odeio lutar contra aquela lixeira, mano. Aquela lixeira é simplesmente forte demais. Devia ter trazido alguém com um debuffzinho de diminuir a coisa. Opa.
In my estimation, there's no question about it. This is murder.
Murder. Such a foreign word to us. The people of Penacony could never come to any harm while under the watchful protection of the family. In a dream, even if you're bashed 1,000 times with a hammer, at worst you'll still wake up in reality in a hotel.
Not necessarily. Even if the result does not constitute harm, the criminal intent is clear enough. You
Mano.
specifically came here to cordon off the scene because of the unsavory nature of this case.
Vamos lá. Por que a Sparkle tá se fantasiando de sample, cara? Não tinha alguém diferente pra ela escolher, cara. Pelo amor de Deus, eu odeio esse personagem, velho.
You're not wrong. Even if there are no casualties, being smashed over the head with a hammer in the middle of the street for no reason at all. This is not the kind of thing that happens on Penacony.
Ah, só uma pergunta. O áudio tá legal? Pra mim parece baixo. O áudio do game.
Are you a witch? Just how did you manage to convince them in the blink of an eye that we're some kind of detectives?
Ah, pera. Pera aí. Elas são amigas? Ah, tá meio baixo, velho. Eu vou aumentar aqui, pera aí. A Sparkle e a Black Swan são amigas, mano. What? Ok, isso deve aumentar um cadinho. Vou deixar assim. Se não tiver mudado nada, você me avisa.
Just some suggestions at the memory level. If something happens in everybody's memory, then that something becomes a fact. Rather than hearing endless explanations, would you like to experience it for yourself?
No. Hey, you can save that for the enemy.
Por que elas são assim?
Then on to the next order of business. Let's discuss your companion,
Tipo,
shall we?
o que é isso? Por que... Opa, valeu.
Keeper of the Garden of Recollection. I've been watching.
Quando que elas viraram amigas? Eu não sei. Não sei.
You stole a glance at me when you first entered the hotel. You followed me wherever I went inside the dreamscape. In the windows along the commercial street. In the pond water reflections of the Idean Park. Even in the reflections of the wine glass. Everywhere. My dear, do you have a crush on me? Well then, seeing as you're so interested in me, let's play a little game. I
Como é
left a puzzle for you near OT Mall. Solve it and prove that you're capable of pleasing me. If you can solve it,
Meu Deus, o que aconteceu aqui?
Don't leave me waiting, my dear. Before Penacony gets flipped upside down, try to find me, catch me, and stop me.
There's actually more than one memo keeper who's come to Penacony. She's mixed me up with someone else. But no harm, no foul.
Ok.
The address that the mask gave you was right here. But you never would have thought that when Miss Sparkle mentioned a game, she was talking about wanton slaughter on the streets of Penacony. Such a direct act of provocation is enough to get my competitive side worked up too.
Madam, forgive me. I had no idea about anything she said. As you saw, I went through a brain scan and everything. I'm just a friend, helping her deliver a letter. That's all. I never knew this was actually a declaration of warfare. They say you shouldn't kill the messenger. So, maybe you can just, let me go. You all are the big shots here. I'm really not on your level.
What a frightened look you have. Don't worry. Since this has nothing to do with you, I won't be suspecting you of anything.
Esse é o sample de verdade?
Why don't you come take a stroll with me?
Oh, seems like I can't escape being an assistant detective. Oh, fine. It's all fine. No big deal.
Ok. Oxi, que é isso? E aí, moça?
If there's anything you'd like to know, please ask away.
Who was the victim?
An IPC employee named Shamari. Eyewitnesses reported that a tall, strong man wearing a large robe with long sleeves walked right past Shamari and suddenly assaulted him with a hammer. Shamari collapsed on the spot and woke up from the dream. The murderer vanished in a flash.
Ooh, that sounds just like Sparkle. Her best asset is transforming her appearance to look like someone else.
Who are those two little guys?
Seems like the assailants stole the troop from elsewhere and deliberately placed them here. What nerve. They don't even have the slightest consideration for public order. Those two have clammed up. I wonder if you two could help pry open their mouths.
A gente vai interrogar uma TV e um macaco um macaco robô.
For you.
Any leads yet?
This is a developing case, so there aren't many clues yet. All we have to go by are the weapon used by the assailant and the victim's ID. They didn't even take the weapon with them. Sounds like they're trying to provoke us. Despicable.
Where's Mr. Shamari right now? I'd like to meet him.
I'm afraid you can't. The Oaks came forward and calmed him down. Mr. Shamari expressed that he understands the unpredictable nature of dreams and went on to vacation in another dreamscape. Best not to bother him. Guest experiences always have to come first.
Não, melhores testemunhas. Sim.
By the time we find him, half of Penacony will have been sent back to reality by Sparkle.
Pô, como assim? Eles sabem quem que
Looks like
fez?
we'll have to play this little game of sparkles then.
Eles, tipo, já tem certeza que é Sparkle e... só? Não vão fazer nada? Tipo, eu não sei o que dá pra fazer também, mas, pô, já sabem quem é.
Swan, you're here. I'm the constable, and this here assisting me is the bailiff for this case. Mr. Coldfeet, why'd you do it?
So they can talk after all. Miss Black Swan, they're heading straight for you.
Don't interrupt, I wasn't talking to you. I understand Lady Black Swan has quite the intellect. I'm sure you'll be able to get to the bottom of the Sparkle murder case.
Wasn't the victim Shamari from the IPC?
You're wrong, Lady Black Swan. The victim is evidently none other than the matriarch of the Goldhammer family, Miss Sparkle Goldhammer.
Oh, I guess Miss Sparkle has written herself into the skit here, and this has nothing to do with the actual case. Goldhammer? Is that her real surname?
Never heard of it. Sounds made up. Sparkle doesn't sound like a real name either.
Nossa, primeira vez que Sample falou alguma coisa que eu gostei.
Supposed to receive 3 valiant warriors at the Goldhammer residence today, but upon their arrival, all they found was her body. Miss Sparkle had been smashed over the head by a hammer and died on the spot. Such a brutal act of violence.
My investigations discovered that the 3 warriors were supposed to escort supplies back to their territory the day before, but they were unexpectedly ambushed by the Annihilation Gang.
Oh meu Deus.
They narrowly escaped and barely got away with their lives, finding their supplies almost completely raided. So they all shared a motive for killing Miss Sparkle, to escape punishment.
So the 3 of them teamed up to kill her.
Is the case closed?
No, there can only be one murderer. It's not an unsolved mystery if there are 3 murderers. Hang on.
Ah, eu discordo. Porque eu já assisti um filme que tinham 12 assassinos. Não, pera aí, eu não posso falar o nome, senão eu vou dar um baita de um spoiler, né? Deixa pra lá.
Don't bother.
Got it! Those 3 were all vying against each other to be number 2. They couldn't have cooperated on anything. So it must have been one of them acting alone.
That actually doesn't make much sense. Even if they were on bad terms, those 3...
Please begin your investigation, Lady Black Swan. There are lots of clues at that crime scene that are sure to help you apprehend the real culprit.
I've got the case file right here. If you want to learn more about the suspects, talk to me.
Eu adorei a voz do macaquinho, velho. Eu gostei de verdade, mano. Uma vozinha. Ué. A gente só veio pra clicar
Lady
nele.
Black Swan, allow me to introduce the 3 suspects to you. Lefton, Zhongshan, and Bright. Lefton is one of Miss Sparkle's chief lieutenants, whose right hand was unfortunately severed while he was valiantly fighting off the Annihilation Gang. He's now learning how to write and hold a fork with his left hand. How tough that must be.
É difícil não, hein? Eu sei muito bem.
This guy's a coward who ran away as soon as a group spotted some bandits along the road. He ended up smashing into the side of a cliff and getting his face disfigured. It's a real shame, as he used to be one of the rare handsome men left around town. Last of all comes Right. This guy was so insatiably greedy that he still came back to try and embezzle the rest of the supplies after they narrowly escaped with their lives, lying about how the gang had taken off with everything. Lefton and Zhongshan were so incensed that they broke his legs.
Hang on, I'm confused here. Left on? Right? Is this some kind of joke?
What? Where did you get that idea from? Do you need me to go over it all
Eu
again?
nem tinha percebido, mano. Muito obrigado, Sample.
That won't be necessary. I've memorized every detail.
No wonder you're a memo keeper.
Tá. Tá. Eu não tinha reparado a parada de Lefton e Right. Realmente foi engraçado.
Talent Motivation Department, Shamari. Is this the victims?
Mr. Shamari's belongings should have disappeared alongside him as he woke from the dreamscape. The fact that this ID is here means Miss Sparkle placed it here on purpose to prove that she definitely attacked someone.
Holy moly! This hammer is super...
Miss Sparkle also
Oops,
knows
falei sem
how to
querer.
attack Mr. Shamari.
Ele falou this hammer is super heavy. Ah, ok.
I'm barely able to lift this using both hands. I have no idea how Sparkle could ever use this to hit a target.
Ok.
Is that all the evidence? How are we meant to solve this with so little to go on?
Oxi.
Oh, you scared me! When did you pop out?
The two pieces of evidence that you found are related to the attack on Shamari. Miss Sparkle didn't leave them lying around for no reason. They're clues to the puzzle. But there are still some other clues that were placed in other areas, so they won't spoil the crime scene.
Isn't that a bit unnecessary?
No. It's disruptive to have a stack of irrelevant things crowding a crime scene. Miss Sparkle is a law-abiding citizen who'd never bring extra trouble to the family.
Seems quite nice of her, if you ask me.
Looks like Miss Sparkle is adding a little spice to the investigation. Let's take her up on her offer then, Mr. Assistant.
Ok. Ah não, a gente vai ter que virar o bicho, cara. Qual é? Eu odeio jogar como Hanu o nome, sei lá, eu acho que é. Eu acho que é, não lembro o nome desse bichinho. Ok, o que temos para investigar?
What's this little device here for? Could you please let me know? It looks like a little button.
Don't push it, Lady Black Swan. Whatever you do, don't push it. That's the mutually assured destruction button that Miss Sparkle installed. Once pushed, Miss Sparkle and the entirety of Penacony will instantaneously go up in smoke.
Oxi.
Sparkle also has her own button. The second she pushes it, you and the entirety of Penacony will instantaneously go up in smoke.
That sounds like both buttons can do the exact same thing.
Correct. Exactly the same.
Oh,
Aren't you going to ask me why?
okay. Why?
Because she is fair.
This is nuts!
Ok. Jogar como um gnomo. É, tipo, alguns puzzles que tem esse bichinho aqui são até interessantes, mas em sua maioria, não. Não são. É um Hanu mesmo. Vambora. Corre, corre, corre. Dá pra gente derrubar? Caraca, que da hora! Nunca esperei que isso fosse acontecer. Diversão.
This notice seems like a hint for us from Miss Sparkle.
That sounded like a story from ancient times. And why did the facial recognition system suddenly go out?
This is so her style, isn't it?
Eu tô um pouco confuso do que exatamente eles estão, tipo, fazendo nessa missão. Pô, vou ter que sair correndo e agora? E pior que nem, o bicho não tá ligado não. Ok, tem como ficar grande de novo pra poder usar isso aqui? Ou tem como eu usar petititinho? Tem como eu usar... Que legal. Por quê? Por que um coelho?
What's this? A plush toy?
É
Regardless of why it's designed to
Pompom,
look
eu
like a
acho.
conductor aboard the Astral Express, this
Exato.
doll, is it connected to the case?
Have you ever heard of something called a red herring in detective stories? It's a fake clue that leads you down the wrong path.
I see. But when it's so obvious, doesn't that defeat the purpose?
That's just in case you didn't realize the ingenuity of Miss Buckle and were worried about her throwing out a random, useless clue.
I see. Thank you for your keen insight. Then, let's pretend we were misled by a red herring. This doll, could it be connected to the case?
Por que ela mudou a voz?
You don't have to play along that hard, you know.
Ok, essa foi genial,
There are
Sempogoski.
clues. Let's head.
Ai, meu Deus. Nossa, isso foi genial. Ela mudou a voz do nada e eu tava tipo, mano, o que aconteceu? E aí o Sample chegou e falou, cara, que é isso? Para de palhaçada. Esse cara é bom. Esse cara aparentemente é bom.
Should we pin down the identity of the perpetrator? This evidence. I've been staring at it all day, but there's nothing that can identify the perp. Lefton, that guy lost his hand. Remember Zhongshan's face was disfigured after the incident at the cliff? Right? I remember this one best. Right has a broken leg.
Why don't we flip the question and start by asking who couldn't be the murderer? After all, there are only 3 suspects, so elimination could be a valid method.
If you put it like that, then do you already have someone in mind? Tell me, come on.
E tipo, o próprio Sample, tá ligado? Ué.
So, who exactly is the murderer? Remember
Eles vão me
Zhongshan's
fazer.
face was disfigured after the incident at the cliff? Right?
Poor guy. He was seriously injured and was all wrapped up in bandages to keep his good looks safe. If that's the case, then he couldn't have made it through the Goldhammer residence's facial recognition system. That would suggest that Zhongshan is not the murderer.
Ok.
So, who exactly is the murderer? Lefton, that guy lost his hand.
Based on the bailiff's statement, Lefton's dominant hand was seriously injured to the point where he had to learn how to live using only his left hand. Swinging that giant sledgehammer to murder someone, that must be hard for him. Probably impossible. Lefton's suspicion level can be downgraded.
By process of elimination, it seems that only Wright could be the murderer. That was easy. Let's tell the constable our answer and see what he thinks.
Ó, calma aí, que vocês não concordaram ainda. Calma aí, rapaziada.
Please begin your investigation.
right.
Oxi.
You have answered correctly! As expected, you didn't disappoint, Lady Black Swan. Game rules stipulate I must tell you where the next puzzle is.
Huh? The next puzzle? I didn't sign up for this.
Looks like the key to winning lies not in the puzzle itself, but in the motives behind Miss Sparkle's strange behavior. I'm afraid this chase may just go on forever.
I have to remind you that Sparkle is a masked fool? Do you plan on finding logic in the mind of a masked fool?
That's exactly what I plan on doing. Even if it's just subjective, there must be an overall principle behind the behavior. Memories cannot lie, and hers may just understand more about her than she does herself. Right now, let's follow her train of thought and head to the next puzzle. I hope this time we can get ahead of the Bloodhound family. I want to try and avoid using my Memo Keeper powers.
Ok. Ah não, tá longe não. Eu ia até pensar em me teleportar, mas não precisa.
So why are you so focused on Sparkle's challenge? Or should I ask, are you more focused on Sparkle herself?
Que crianção. Qual é, Sample? Todo respeito que você conseguiu nessa live, você já perdeu.
It's purely out of a spirit of competitiveness. And, as a memo keeper, I also have to fulfill my responsibilities and harvest some interesting memories.
Ai, caramba, não acaba a pena come. Qual é? Monstros.
Whoa, this place is a complete mess. And those two weirdos are probably here too.
Oh, Detective Black Swan and Detective Sampo, you finally made it!
We don't know what we'd do without your help.
Why are you talking like that? Is this some sort of artistic performance that young people are into these days?
Is there something wrong with the way we are talking? Deputy Sheriff, am I talking in a strange way?
Oh, of course not, Sheriff. The way you talk is no stranger than the cat that climbs the apple tree in my grandma's backyard.
Ok.
The skit this time is a modernist one.
Let's discuss this difficult case then. The victim is a galactic business magnate named Sparkle.
Ah não, vou inventar outra. Ai, outra identidade pra ela.
Is obsessed with scripting her own death.
Oh, for the laughter. If you undercut me one more time, I swear I'm gonna kick you in the butt. Miss Sparkle came to the fashion store to buy herself a brand new tie. She didn't come back out. After a long time, the shopkeeper went in to see what was going on, but instead discovered Miss Sparkle's body. She had been strangled to death.
Mano.
There were 3 suspects on the scene, namely a Pepeshi shopkeeper named Wright, a Voxian gambler named Zhang Shan, and a wealthy Intellitron trader called Lefton.
Our old friends.
É.
It's not just to aid your memory. We've added more descriptions to help tell them apart.
Miss Sparkle is so gracious.
Based on surveillance footage, witness testimony, and various pieces of evidence, the killer is ultimately among these 3, and they were not working in cahoots.
You're too lazy to be a suspect, right?
Oh, for the laughter! If I talk anymore with you, it'll make my pure soul filthy!
Detective Black
Eu sou fã
the
com
dossier is over
o
here.
Sample.
Learn more about the suspects from me. I trust you'll be able to cut through the hogwash and find out who Miss Sparkle's killer is.
Eita, sumiu o negócio, o coisa aqui, né? Ficou tipo tudo laranja. Oxi, peraí. Cara, que coisa louca. Do que a gente tá falando com,
It's very
com os monstros?
First of all, is the shopkeeper right? He's one of the Papashi people and only stands as tall as Sparkle's waist, which is often a source of teasing for him. He can get pretty salty about it. Next up, you have the merchant Lefton. He wants to join up with the Penacony Trading Guild and is in direct competition with Miss Sparkle. That could be a motive for killing her. Finally, there is the gambler Zhongshan. He lost a bet to Miss Sparkle, and he had to hand over his family heirloom. It's possible he harbored a grudge against her. That's all the information we have. Do you need me to repeat it?
Vazou, meu Deus, vazou, não. Não. Esse vazou é bom.
First of all, is the shopkeeper right? He's one of the Papashi people and only stands as tall as Sparkle's waist, which is often a source of teasing for him.
Peraí.
Pretty salty about it. Next up, you have the merchant Lefton. He
Fui
wants to
gankado.
join up with the Penacony Trading Guild and is in direct competition with Miss Sparkle. That could be a motive for killing her. Finally, there is the gambler Zhongshan. He lost a bet to Miss Sparkle, and he had to hand over his family heirloom. It's possible he harbored a grudge against her.
Vazou o alt tab. Mais uma vez. Pera aí. Tá.
And there's the tie.
That skit before said that the deceased was strangled. Is this tie some kind of joke murder weapon?
The tag on the tie reads, only for Imperial Master Lefton. Seems like it's one of Miss Sparkle's personal belongings.
Vazou 2, eu sabia que vinha uma
The
dessa.
word imperial.
Está certíssimo. Ok.
There's an accounting book lying on the ground. It must have been specially placed there by Sparkle.
On the title page is written Chen Katong. Is that someone's name? A code name. Oh, I think it's the name of the owner of this book.
This Jian Katong person should be Sparkle's targeted victim this time around.
Oh, caramba.
So, it's just like the first case then. Only 2 pieces of evidence. The rest hidden inside her memories again, right?
Miss Sparkle doesn't want to distract your investigation.
Cara, a Sparkle quer ou não quer que a gente...
She doesn't
Tá
want to
ligado?
distract our investigation. What a law-abiding citizen Sparkle is. Why doesn't she surrender then?
Por que fizeram o sample assim, cara? Eles podiam ter feito ele um ótimo personagem desde o começo e eles deixaram pra, tipo, mandar ele pra Penacony pra acontecer isso. Que louco. Vejamos. Vou rodar normal só pra ver qual é. Ok. Nada pra gente fazer. Então vamos ficar daqui mesmo. Ah, dá pra teleportar pra outros lugares assim. Aquele ali vai ser bom. E ganhar alguma coisa, hein? Cara, esses puzzles aqui maravilhosos. Se for o que eu tô pensando.
Open it up and take a look.
Ah, esses puzzles são divertidíssimos. Deixa eu me tirar aqui daqui até... Pera aí, se der bom. É, olha isso. Tipo, a gente tem que chegar aqui, só que a gente consegue fazer um caminho usando o espelho. É muito legal. Pera aí. É muito divertido. Eu adoro esse puzzle. Esse puzzle é muito legal. Tem um monte de negócio com perspectiva. É muito massa, muito massa. Tá, o que você quer, moço?
Oh, there's a ring inside. This is evidence too. Why was it planted inside another device?
Because this ring was found inside the victim's mouth. We want to reconstruct the scene of the crime.
In the victim's mouth.
Essa foi a minha pergunta.
There's something engraved inside the ring. Zhongshan family heirloom.
Ok.
What's that smell? Why is there a smoked red herring there?
Mr. Sampo, take a look. This is a wonderful smoked red herring.
Não tem problema não, peixe tem cheiro ruim mesmo.
From this cringe joke.
Even among the fools I know, Miss Sparkle's sense of humor stands out from the rest.
Have you dealt with
Okay.
many masked fools before?
No, only a handful. After all, I prefer warm memories baked in sunshine. They're the ones that usually belong to kind people.
Ok.
A little stool that seems quite normal. There are 2 small footprints drawn on it in crayon.
The footprints, which are half as big as standard, must belong to a Pepeshi person.
Perhaps it's just that this person's drawing skills are extraordinary. That should be it. Let's head out.
Tô tentando compreender o que isso vai... Onde que a gente tá chegando? Pra onde a gente vai a partir daqui?
I have to thank you, Mr. Assistant Detective, but the puzzle this time is pretty strange.
Have you found out who the killer is?
Just some shallow intuition. Anyway, let's report back to the sheriff for now.
Oh, for the laughter! Didn't think I'd be seeing Detective Black Swan so soon. Was that? You found out who the killer is?
Pretty much.
You live up to your reputation, Detective Black Swan. As smart as the nest of magpies roosting in the roof of my Uncle Frank's garage.
This guy is mixing up his birds here.
Then go ahead. Who is the killer, and what evidence do you have to prove the case?
Ué, pra que a gente faria isso? A gente... eu vou botar pra... Bota pra identificar. Vai.
Then let us appreciate your powers of deduction.
Caraca. Que coisa louca.
Have you solved the case? This guy, Zhongshan, is a card shark who used to play Get the Koi with Miss Sparkle. He gambled away his entire family fortune.
This ring is a piece of evidence, right?
That's right! That's the one! What would a penniless wretch of a gambler like Zhongshan be doing at such a fancy fashion store as this? Because he was planning on robbing it! He'd stolen Lefton's tie and was just about to get away when he saw Miss Sparkle, the one who had stolen his family fortune from him. So, he darted into the changing room and tried to get back his ring. Who could have known that Miss Sparkle would end up swallowing that ring? All Zhongshan could do was use the tie in his hand to try and strap down her neck to prevent her from swallowing the ring. But he unexpectedly managed to strangle Miss Sparkle to death. What a tragedy! If it weren't for your incisive detective work, the murderer would still be at large.
Is something wrong here? This is too easy. The first case wasn't hard, but this one...
As you can imagine, the conclusions that the evidence points to are not mutually exclusive. Which means, this is probably another prank from Miss Sparkle. Mr. Assistant Detective, please feel free to point out a suspect as the murderer.
Ah, I see. Sheriff, the murderer is Lefton. The evidence is the tie, right?
Correct, Detective Sapo. I never thought you'd be able to deduce the truth.
Nossa, destruído.
The murderer is right. The evidence is the
Não é S
right?
de Sheriff, é S de Savage.
For the laughter, how did I fail to realize this formidable intellect of yours?
Dad, right from the start, there was no murderer. The evidence is the ring. Whatever, I'm just spitballing here.
Goodness me! Deputy Sheriff, is he really a genius? How could such an unfathomable mystery be solved so easily by him?
Oh.
Look, Miss Sparkle has given us a puzzle where every single answer is correct.
Why take it so seriously? Miss Sparkle is a masked fool, not a masked genius. If it's a challenging puzzle you want, please go out there and turn right until you get to the Intelligentsia Guild. We're only responsible for providing an entertaining detective experience. Anyway, since our genius detective Black Swan has cracked the case, I will now share Miss Sparkle's next puzzle with you.
So that's it? This is just going to go on and on forever? We can't do that.
Then I wish you both the best. Oh yes, if you're not in a hurry, I can tell you the answers for some of the outcomes you never chose.
Just as you said, solving puzzles is all just a cover for something else. That girl is toying with us. What should we do now? Just keep getting led around by her?
Truly, Miss Sparkle is a fascinating person. She seems chaotic inside, but easy enough to understand. Like a performer on the stage or a child hungering for attention.
É, eu acho que essa é a descrição da Sparkle mesmo.
Soon. This time, we're going to catch her.
Miss Black Swan, Mr. Sampo, you're finally here. I am the famed detective of Penacony, and next to me here is my assistant detective.
A murder in a locked room has left us all stumped.
As expected, another change in setting.
Yesterday, my assistant and I were visiting the famed artist Miss Sparkle, and we stayed the night. But this morning, Miss Sparkle didn't come out of her bedroom. The butler, Zhongshan, said that the door was locked from inside, so we ought not to have disturbed her. But Miss Sparkle had never slept in so late. And no matter how hard he knocked, there was no answer from inside. As soon as I heard, I knew something must have happened. So I acted decisively and broke the door down to get inside. The room was covered in spattered blood. Miss Sparkle's body was lying right in the middle. Thinking quickly, I grabbed the artist canvas to staunch Miss Sparkle's blood, but alas, poor Miss Sparkle. She's left us now forever. Besides us and Zhongshan the butler, Left and the cook and Wright the driver were also at the scene of the crime. What would you like to do?
Presumably, Miss Sparkle is now carefully arranging the next crime scene, right? Why don't you skip all this rigmarole and just have a heart-to-heart conversation with me? It might tickle a little.
Wait up! Wait up!
Honest kid. I know where you are, Miss Sparkle.
No
cheating!
Oxi.
Oh, Mr.
No, it's... This locked room murder case is pretty fun. I want to guess who it was.
Essa missão tá lembrando Persona 4? Cara, eu tenho amigos que jogaram bastante Persona, mas eu nunca joguei. Qual foi o colo do Persona? Vou lançar aqui.
Ding-a-ling! Now comes the most exciting and romantic moment in any drama. The audience challenge. Everyone knows that the mighty masked fool Sparkle can change her appearance to look like others. And in this drama, the villain Sparkle has disguised herself as another character. So then, I put to you, which character is it? Also, if you're interested in the locked room case that the memo keeper ignored, you can try out your powers of deduction. I put lots into coming up with the puzzle, so don't let it go to waste. Thus, the masked genius Miss Sparkle has thrown down the gauntlet. All the clues are in motion. Happy hunting!
Ok.
Miss, why didn't you just do this earlier?
Such a crude approach violates my aesthetics of memory. But as a means to an end, I need to put this aside for a more indifferent process.
Ah, não. Ah, não. Já tá esquecido que a gente ia lutar com a...
Nor is there
Com a lata
evidence
de
strewn
lixo,
all
cara.
over the place. We finally caught up with her. But what's that thing? A Bella Boggian trash can?
Ih, papo reto, né? O...
Hey, dear memo keeper and Mr. Coldfeet, you made it.
Ih, então se duvidar eles pegaram essa inspiração, hein?
That's on me. Oh,
Se duvidar, rolou Persona
Miss
4
Sparkle
aqui.
cares not for the faults of ants like me. Come then, this is the final question. Listen up. What creature has 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs at night?
No
Sério?
case this time around.
Sometimes it's nice to take things easy. Come on, dear, give me your answer then.
Seeing as you're right here in front of me like this, then I guess the answer is a trash can, right?
Womp womp. Wrong answer. That's funky, but a wild guess.
Mano, eu odeio.
Answer is Sparkle. When sleepy in the morning, she can't get out of bed. She runs about all afternoon in a fluster, so is exhausted by evening, but has to still raise a hand to hold a toothbrush. Poor Sparkle. So naturally, she's got 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs at night.
What the heck was that jibber jabber?
What a cute answer.
Thanks for the compliment, my dear. But you can't try to fool me, seeing as you've just tried to cheat. Wrong answer. Accept your punishment.
Hora de sair na mão. Finally. Bora.
In the name of Lent, a will forged in ice never falters.
Relax. Destiny is an ill fate descends. Beneath the waters lies an endless abyss.
Don't come any closer.
Agora é hora do meu time Ultra Master Blaster.
Good times. No time to say bye. Boom.
This ends here.
Stand still.
It'll heal.
Vaza.
Holy smokes! What's up with this guy? He just came out swinging from nowhere. Huh? No voices? This guy's pretty quiet. Miss, let's hurry up. Flip open the lid and find the girl.
Wait. Don't move. Something's off.
Miss, you killed Sparkle. How is this possible? How can people die inside Penacony's dreamscape? In the Garden of Recollection. What did you do?
Que?
You did this, didn't you? Killing people in their dreams. Only the Remembrance has the powers to do that. You planned it out all from the start because she teased you and was pranking you. You wanted to kill her. Oh, I understand. You refused to let me go because you wanted to drag me into all of this. If I don't agree, I'll end up just like she did.
There is no death inside Penacony's dreamscape. That's the promise of the family and the blessing of the harmony. Not even a memo.
Cadáver.
Barrier. There's no need to take such great pains. If you just want confirmation, I've already told you the answer, Miss Sparkle.
Miss Sparkle? Who are you talking to?
You. Sparkle has disguised herself as another character. Wouldn't that be you, Mr. Sampo?
This? Don't jump to conclusions! If you want to accuse me of being Sparkle, you have to provide the evidence. Oh, I'm afraid evidence is a little too hard to come by. So, deduction will do.
The hint for the final question was a little too obvious.
Oh, you mean the locked room murder? I thought you weren't doing that one.
All the painstaking effort that Miss Sparkle put into it. How could I ever miss it? The key to solving the puzzle lay in 2 pieces of information put forward by the detectives. First, the large splatter of blood at the crime scene. Second, the victim had been dead for some time. Based on my shallow understanding, I can only draw 2 conclusions. One is that the murderer did not need to create a locked room case, because a locked room always needs a reason to exist. But, based on the detective's description, this locked room did not delay the discovery of the body. There was no third party at the crime scene to frame, and the blood everywhere didn't look like a faked suicide. That being so, the murderer seems to have no reason for creating a locked room. There is also reason to speculate that if the crime scene was a locked room, then its creator might not necessarily be the murderer. As for my second conclusion, it's even more obvious still. When everyone broke into the scene of the crime, why did the assistant rush off to staunch the blood? A trained professional was somehow happily destroying a crime scene just to save someone who's obviously been dead a while. The answer is simple. It's because the assistant detective is the murderer. At the time, I was in such a hurry that I didn't hear the whole mystery. I tentatively speculated that the murderer had killed the victim the night before, but hadn't locked the door from the inside. And so, when he learned this piece of information, he realized that the victim had created their own locked room mystery. That's why he had to rush to the crime scene as soon as possible, to confirm whether or not the victim left any evidence implicating him. And, judging by his behavior, it probably had something to do with that canvas, like some final words. Of course, this is just a simple mind game. The answer to the puzzle isn't important. Miss Sparkle just wanted to pass on one hint to me, that the murderer is the assistant detective. Which means it's you, Mr. Sampo. I've been using this term of address, but it was you who first came up with it.
Has anyone ever told you that you're more like a detective than a memo keeper?
In my opinion, there is no difference between the two. Follow ripples along the surface of the water. Use some abilities and tricks to keep diving deeper, and touch that secret deep inside people's hearts. Salvage it, and protect them carefully. The truth does not lie. Neither do memories.
Exquisite reasoning, and very close to the truth. But I have another answer. Would you like to hear it?
Another answer?
The great artiste Sparkle locked herself away in her bedroom using red paint to create the semblance of spattered blood everywhere. And that assistant detective who was first on the scene, who confirmed her death, was not the murderer, but rather an accomplice who assisted her in faking her own death.
What a pity. Such a pity. My dear, you were so close to the right answer. Unfortunately,
Eu vou... Oh,
the
caramba.
right answer is...
What the hell? Ah, morra, porque o pente abriu aqui. Estamos safes. Como que... Sas.
Miss Sparkle's body.
Cara, que missão louca, não tô entendendo nada.
Disguised as Sparkle's
Morra,
body.
morra.
Ding-a-ling! I won!
Mano,
Does Miss Sparkle's body even count as a real character?
Why not? Miss Sparkle's body appeared in all three of those skits just then.
It's a little bit forced, but it's fine. So, who is this Mr. Sampo, then?
Beautiful lady.
cada vazamento que está ocorrendo de graça, papo reto. Mano, sabe qual é o pior?
I really didn't know a thing. I just helped a friend send a letter. That's all.
So I've been running a fool's errand this whole time.
Aqui eu botei o pente pra sair daqui,
Why so
não daqui.
serious? Haven't you been having a great time?
E ele não obedeceu.
I have at least. You take memories, and I get joy. We get what we need from each other. Seeing as we're such kindred spirits, but also such loners. Why don't you come and work with me? Ooh, we can dance ballet together.
Oh? Am I understanding this correctly? A masked fool inviting me to work together?
A show of unprecedented splendor is about to be staged in Penacony. If you're too late to take the stage, you can work behind the scenes. If you want to appreciate this drama, you have to stand up under that spotlight as you take the stage and watch the dancing envelop you. Come with me. This is the best seat in the house.
I don't really understand why you're so fixated on destroying family barriers. But, as I said before, a memo keeper can't help you. It's frankly above my pay grade. Also, I don't consider you a loner. Oh, I don't mean him, but rather behind you. The one who hired you to come to Penacony probably doesn't want you secretly linking up with other forces, right?
How did you know?
Ué,
Memory is like the deep blue sea. But if you try to catch two fish with one cast, you might not be satisfied with your catch.
So, you mean you're refusing? Memo Keeper, did you think you could just leave?
Why not?
não vai rolar o balé, galera.
I don't want to scare you. You'll know the answer sooner or later. We're just getting to know each other a little today. If you ever change your mind, come find me at the tavern. That is, if you can find me.
Cara,
Let's go, Sampo?
é essa daí.
Sampo. Who is Sampo?
This is Bellabug, right?
Agora eu entendi nada.
I said, why not? Don't worry. Such a crude approach violates my statics of memory. So once you leave my sight, you'll be able to remember everything again. And also, I'm sorry, my dear. My dream dance partner? I've already got sights on someone else.
Qual é? Cara, essa parte dela tá morta, tipo, ela meio que consegue. Eu não sei o quanto que você viu da história original, a história Missão Lendária, mas a Sparkle consegue se disfarçar de outros personagens. E aí, mano, eu imagino que ela fez alguma coisa pra parecer que ela tava morta. Mano, meu mouse sumiu. Inclusive, tá rolando o Event Wish da Sparkle, que eu não vou dar pull, porque o negócio vai ser eu pegar a Akron. Então, vou ter que mandar a Sparkle pro buraco negro. Aí, é hora da gente responder junto, hein? A gente fala que não entendeu nada ou vai no how fascinating. Eu vou no how fascinating mesmo. Mas tipo, que confusão.
You've gained joy from it. And Miss Black Swan surely also feels gratified. Yes?
Ah, imagino que sim, né? Não sei.
I will pass your esteemed praise on to you. I noticed that the people in your dream were familiar to you. It's worth repeating that dreams are just dreams. And in Pinnacle, dreams can be processed or even tempered. Things in our dreams cannot be trusted. We rule someone else's dreamscape. If there's any information that you'd like to confirm, please do so with a cold, hard mind of reality. Sweet dreams.
Really?
Oxi.
I wouldn't do anything to her.
Don't worry about
Será?
that, Memo Keeper. Let's talk about my thing. I've helped you out with everything you've asked, as agreed. Shouldn't you give my mask back to me now?
Since when did the masked fools suddenly start respecting agreements? Just kidding. I loved seeing that look on your face. Take this key to the tavern cellar. Third barrel on the left. You never saw me. But Sampo, after all this time, what made you suddenly want to take back your mask? This doesn't seem like the Sampo I know. Let me guess. A catastrophe is coming to Urello 6. Am I right?
Well, no comment about that. But I love that line you said.
Chegou.
If you're too late to take the stage, you can work behind the scenes. That really makes sense. Sometimes even an old-timer like me feels like taking the stage and making a fool out of myself.
If you're all out of options, please get in touch with me. I'm the kind of person who values friendship highly.
Forget it. You'll be doing me a favor if you stay away from Bellabog. For all the elation that Miss Sparkle seeks isn't something old Sempo can stand by. Go tell Giovanni I said hi.
Fine, I'm just spitballing here. Don't take it so seriously.
Cara, que coisa louca.
Why so serious?
Nossa. Nossa, eles jogaram muita informação aqui, hein? Não sei como nunca ouvi falar dessa missão no Instagram. Eita. Olha. Ela falou, opa, salve, como é que tu tá? Aquela Sparkle tá procurando a Dreambow em todo lugar. Você pode pegar um negócio? Posso? Ah, beleza, vou com você. Sabe me lembrar onde é? Ah, engraçado, né? Pera aí. Engraçado, né, gente? Estranha ela esquecer, né? Coisa estranha. Tu não me engana não, mano. Tu não me engana não. Na verdade, sim. Eu amo trash cans that much. Achou que ia me pegar, né? Essa tal de Sparkle achou que ia me pegar, viu? Vim aqui no contrapé, mano. Meu nome é Júnior Santos. Apenas. Porra, tem coisa da Black Swan mesmo? Brincadeira. Ué? Mesma coisa? Pera aí, deixa eu subir, mano. Você tá digitando demais. Ai, pequenininho. Acho que ela vai perguntar mais uma vez. Ok. Bem, portanto... Pera, 9 dias, 16... Ah, estamos safe. Portanto, essa foi a missão. Gente, essa foi a missão da Black Swan. E da... como é que é? Da Sparkle junto. Eu vou fazer, tipo... Memory... Não é Memory of Chaos, eu acho que é Memory Keeper esse. É algum desses que é de batalhar. E aí eu vou fechar a live. Porque eu vou comer, depois vou mimir que eu tô com sono, gente, acordar cedo pra trabalhar cansa bastante, por incrível que pareça, quem diria. Qual é o nome disso mesmo? Chronicles of Youth, mas não era exatamente isso. Ah, enfim. Vamos lá, vamos lá, vamos lá. É você? Não. É você. Ok, vamos lá. Onde a Firefly entra nessa história? Cara, a Firefly, se eu não me engano, não entra agora. Ela é mais da... Não é a história principal. Ela é da história principal, mano. E eu vou te falar... Se você não sabe, não viu nada sobre a Firefly, eu recomendo tu ir atrás, porque... Tipo, da história, porque... Só isso que eu tenho a dizer. Cadê a Lynx? Tá engraçado. Ah, então beleza, tá sabendo. Tá, ela foi muito do atacado mesmo. Sim, o Something Unto Death ataca ela. Vou falar ataca, que eu tenho certeza que ela não morreu. Mas nunca se sabe, né? Porque eles mataram a Ting-Yun. Então, pois é. Não sabemos. Eu tô confuso ainda. Mas eu acho que não, porque se fizer isso com a Robin também, aí tipo é demais, tá ligado? Pra você aceitar.
Enemies ahead. Up for a scrap?
I'm with you.
Great. Commencing support. Specimen sighted. I think something enemy data secure. Net markers activated. Time for good old counter.
Apenas virou água, exatamente. Cara, era tu que tava aqui no dia que tu mandou aquela virou água? Eu falei, pô, qual é? O momento tava mó tenso. Eu acho que era você. Nossa, essa live foi louca, hein? Foi muito boa, inclusive. Eu adorei.
Who's next? I'll end your misery. I'll free you from your chains. Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past.
Ai, ai, ai. Muito dano nesses bichos.
Enemy data secure. Net markers activated. Time for a good old counterattack.
Era tu. Então é isso, mano. Sempre por aí, mano. Apenas.
I'll end your misery. Commencing cut.
Hope you're...
So you who's next? I'll free you from your chains. Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past. Enemy data secure. Net markers activated. Time for a good old counterattack.
Is that all?
So you are
Name
afraid
of
of
land,
me.
a will forged in ice. Never falters!
I'll end your misery. What? Specimen sighted.
This ends here.
Is that all?
Who's next? I'll end your misery. I'll free you from your chains. Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past. Enemy data secure.
Tô usando 100% do meu cérebro aqui pra poder fazer esse memory... Não é memory of chaos, eu acabei de falar o nome do bagulho e já
I'll
não...
end your misery.
Já troquei.
Enemy targets detected.
Achei que eu já tinha coisa.
Don't mess with me. Who's next? I'll end your misery. I'll free you from your chains. Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past. Enemy data secure. Net markers.
Fiz na ordem contrária. Era pra ter sido a ult da Pela antes, mas eu ganhei o negócio e nem reparei.
I'll end your misery.
In the name of land, a will forged in ice. Never falters!
Vamos.
What a headache. Who's next? I'll end your misery. Ready for another? Enemy data secure. Net markers activated. Time for a good old counterattack.
Is that all?
Ok, 27.000 não foi muito bom não, mas também não foi ruim. Então eu aceito.
Does that hurt?
Aceito. Essa daqui que a gente vai dançar, hein? Nessa agora a gente vai dar uma brincada. Como eu adoro esse time. Olha isso, nem joguei ainda.
Time to get vigilant.
Lindo.
Ill tidings manifest. Memories are beneath the waters lies an endless abyss.
Morram
Good
todos.
breathing.
Who invited you?
Stand still.
Everything's ridiculous. Stars, give these trailblazers your blessing.
What do you want to know?
Ill fate descends.
Good times. Time to say bye. Boom.
Cara, isso é dano demais. Isso é dano demais, mano. É absurdo.
No manners, huh?
Relax.
Já morre aí.
I'm scared.
Stay put. Get them. Fiends or devils. I'll crush them all.
Ill tidings manifest.
Stand still.
Memories are ever beneath the waters lies an endless abyss.
Agora vai ser a Big Plays. Agora vai ser a Big Plays. Ué, cadê a coisa? Aí.
Ill fate descends.
Good times. Never last. Time to say bye.
Vocês viram o dano.
Boom.
49 mil.
Cutting the
Cara, esse time é muito absurdo. De verdade. Esse time não tem condição, velho.
relax.
Get them.
Já foi de base.
Ill tidings manifest.
Cara, os bichos só vêm pra morrer, mano. Isso é muito absurdo.
Stars, give these trailblazers your blessing.
Say bye to breathing.
Memories are beneath the waters lies an endless abyss.
Stand still.
Oxi! Eu nunca cheguei nessa fase.
Destiny is a...
Eu nunca tinha chegado naquela fase. Caraca, eu acho que é a primeira vez que eu completo um Pure Fiction. Porra, meu safes, 40 mil no segundo. Cara, esse time é muito absurdo. Esse time realmente não dá. É um bagulho muito bom. Ai, dinheiros. Dinheiros. Cada vez mais ricos, cada vez mais chegando perto da Akron. Tomara que eu consiga. Deus, manda uma Akron pra gente. Papai do céu, por favor. Depois aqui que já começa a ficar meio pai. Já começa a ficar difícil de fazer. Isso aqui é muito, tá ligado? Muito. É difícil. Mas enfim, gente, eu fiz um Memory of Chaos aqui. Não é Memory of Chaos, um Pure Fiction aqui. Eu até faria outro. Claro que eu até faria outro. Mas eu não vou, porque isso aqui vai ser um caos. Big Chaos. Então... E eu não acho que eu vou ter personagem suficiente para fazer um negócio bom aqui. Então... Não sei. Se bem que aqui, ó, lançar um Yantin ia ser o bicho. Cadê o Yantin? Meu Deus, cadê a Sushang? Sushang e Yantin. Tamo bem. Eu acho que esse aqui mantém. Só talvez tira a Pela e bota o alguém de fogo. O Knife. Eu vou largar também nosso amigo Jeppy pela Swan. Enfim, gente. Mas eu vou fechar aqui mesmo essa live. Espero muito que vocês tenham gostado. Um grandíssimo salve pro Eduardo. Mano, o cara entrou no post, falou que ia aparecer aqui e apareceu. Mais brabo não existe. Então, mano, muito obrigado por ter vindo aqui. Tamo junto, cara. Muito obrigado por ter vindo. E... Bem, gostei. É assim, apesar de ter sido bem confuso, eu gostei da história da Swan. Foi, tipo, um pouquinho engrandecedor de personagem. E era isso que eu estava procurando ali. Eu não estava querendo uma história maravilhosa, porque os caras já estavam quebrando a cabeça deles com a história principal desse game. Então, enfim, gente. Espero que vocês tenham curtido. Eu curti. Então, tomara que vocês tenham curtido junto. E é isso. Eu vou fechar aqui. Promessa é dívida. Ó, esse cara é bom. Valeu, mano. Tamo junto. Muito obrigado por ter vindo aqui. E eu vou fechar com um wishzinho aqui, ó. Wishzinho aqui. Vamos fechar a live assim. Então é isso, gente. Muito obrigado por terem brotado aqui. E tamo junto até a próxima. Vou fechar aqui depois. Eu acho que não veio dourado. Deu uma espiada, mas não veio. Vamos ver o que vem. Vamos ver. Se vai que vem uma... Como é o nome dela? Joei, tá ligado? Um roxinho bom. Ou uma pela. Pela é muito bom também. Uso bastante. Será que vem mais alguém? Não, só a pela. E é isso, gente. Tamo junto e até a próxima. Paca. Épico.